Hey guys, what's up? Fur Daddy here. Today I'm coming at you pretty soon since my last video with a guide on the island sanctuary. So this is going to be a bit of a different kind of guide. I know I say that all the time, but that's for real this time because a lot of this stuff is time gated. So I got to the point where 99% of everybody's at with the time that we have allotted, and I'm going to show you how to get there and catch up. And then in the future, I'll make more of these videos to show you, and you can kind of like play along with me, which will be really fun. So I'm going to go over, in this video, unlocking the island sanctuary, the full tutorial, how the HUD and systems work in here, an overview of the supply and demand mechanics for the trading posts, the challenge log, the fastest way to get to level 5, what to do once you're level 5, a little bit about the rare spawns for the mobs, the location map and some of the locations where we are, and then just some closing remarks and where we can find more information. So a lot of this info I'm getting from a Reddit thread that I've posted in the description that's keeping updated, and the rest of the info I'm getting from people over in my Discord, which is where we're discovering a lot of different stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to join the Discord, and you can obviously check for updated information in the Reddit thread below. So with that in mind, let's get into the video. Okay, so first we want to start unlocking the sanctuary, the island sanctuary, and you do so here. You need to complete the quest Endwalker, the 6.0 quest, and you'll be able to pick up the blue quest right here, which will take you to the Morabee dry docks, and from there you'll be able to go to the island sanctuary and actually begin unlocking it. So I just want to go over some tips, because the next part of this is just going to be following the tutorial that they set up for you. I think it's pretty good, it's not confusing or anything like that. Just some tips for it. Don't gather more than you need when you're doing the tutorial, just because you're going to get 2 sets of tools from that are going to help you gather items from the same node. So you want to make sure you finish that first. And just when you're out, make sure to pick up some pumpkins, because you're going to get a bed soon. You want to get those planted as soon as you can when you're doing the tutorial. And when you're finished the tutorial, you're going to wind up with a proper base to set up, and it'll say create the hideaway of your dreams, and that will indicate that you're done the tutorial, and that doesn't change from there. So something that's really important during this process is to not spend your SEAFARER'S COWRIE that you obtain, because you're going to need that to progress through the quests. Each quest, they give you a whole bunch at the beginning, and then it requires those to actually progress and upgrade the different areas. And that's something you want to be doing as soon as it pops up. As you're going through the tutorial and as you're creating your tools and whatnot, you're going to see different quests get unlocked. Now, to expand the actual base camp, you need to create the tools, the basic mammoth size builder tools, and then when you're level 5, the better mammoth size builder tools. And what those will do is those will unlock the actual areas in your hideaway to be able to be upgraded. So you really want to do that as quickly as possible, because you're going to have landmarks that you can build in those areas, and those are time restricted, and they take 12 hours. So I don't even really know what they do yet, because it hasn't been that long since it started, but they don't seem to do too much. But they improve like efficiency and whatnot, so you want to just get that stuff built as quickly as possible. The name of the game with stuff like this is just getting the stuff that takes a long time set up, so that you can do other things while that time is ticking down. So speaking of which, some other things that you want to make sure you do during this process is you want to be capturing animals, and you want to be planting crops. So like I said earlier, you're going to want to pick up pumpkin seeds and plant them right away. They're the first ones you'll have access to. And you can also get cabbage seeds, and you get cabbage seeds here. And I'll go over a full map later on in the video where all the locations of items are, but yeah. And you want to make sure you plant those as soon as you can, and also collect farm animals. Now, there are rare farm animals, which I'll also touch on at the end of the video, and I'll go over the ones we've discovered so far then. But you just want to make sure you're doing that stuff and getting your animals fed, because this is all stuff that takes time to grow or time to harvest. So set that all up while you're doing this beginning questing, and you'll be good to go. So now that you have that done, you should have your camp upgraded, and if you haven't upgraded your cozy cabin, you're wondering where the quests are, you can go up to the cozy cabin logboard and upgrade it through that. So you should have that upgraded, and you should have 2 facilities built. And if you're at that point, we can continue the video. If not, I suggest you get to that point first. But next, I'm just going to go over the HUD. So going over this HUD item by item, we can start off with the inventory. Now these are static spots in your inventory. So for each item you've unlocked, it'll show you here where the item is, and it won't be able to be moved. So this is as many items as you need, and it's separate from your main inventory. In addition to that, you have your produce, which will show you all the different types of seeds, and then the produce that you can make as a result of that. And then you have your stock stores, which is the leavings of the animals that you raise, and that can be eggs and horns and teeth. It's not those kind of leavings. And then tools are just the tools that you've crafted so far. Now, the crafting log is pretty straightforward. They go over this in the tutorial as well. You can create different items here. You do get XP for making these, so if you're trying to level up, you get to level 5 as quickly as possible, which I'll touch on again soon. You might end up making a lot of feed or a lot of nets as you're doing that. But this is the crafting inventory. The gathering log is interesting. So once you've collected an item in the gathering log, you can click it and it will show you where to harvest those items. It doesn't necessarily show you the best place to get these items. There are really good places for all these items. It doesn't show you the best one. It just shows you one that's associated with the item. Going to manage your hideaway, you can see the different things that you've built, as well as the times that they'll be completed if you're in the process of building them. That's pretty straightforward. The material allocation shows the items that you're crafting and if you're deficit for them. If you reach the deficit for an item, or if you reach the time that an item is going to be crafted and you don't have enough in your stores to craft it, it won't craft. So it's really important that you end up doing that, and I will go over the actual Tactful Taskmaster's workshop in just a moment. Manage minions, they show you this one in the tutorial, just how to releasing minions. It's pretty straightforward. And then your guide is just you can read information about every item. So that's the Isle Keeps Index, or the HUD, went over. So now we have the workshop, which you can access by talking to the Tactful Taskmaster, and it's pretty straightforward. You just click on a time slot, and it allows you to begin making items. You want items to be made in certain time blocks, and if you're inefficient about it, you can kind of screw yourself over, which I've managed to do. But once it's all set up, I suggest doing fire sand and potions right now. There is also rest cycles, as well as supply and demand. Now, rest cycles, you can determine times when, at what time in the day people rest, and that's, I guess, for your time zones. And supply and demand is where you can adjust the items that you're making based on the demand, which affects the price of the item. Now, this is huge. I don't really understand how a lot of this works, and I may make a video just about this subject alone, because it's pretty deep and complicated, and I'm sure the theory crafters are cracking away at what the most efficient way is to do this right now. So we'll leave this for now. But for now, I'm just making the fire sand and the potions, because they're quick and they're easy to get in there. And as I said, these videos will iterate as our farm goes on, so we'll leave those for right now. So next, we're just going to touch on the challenge log. Now, the challenge log can be accessed by going to log and then challenge log, and it's under other. It's with the Eureka items. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see there's 2, living off the land and making a living off the land. And those will both give you SEAFARER'S COWRIE. I don't know if they plan to expand this in the future, but it's important that you do these. Obviously, you're going to do these by accident, but this is where you find it if you're curious about where those are. So that's the overview of the Island Sanctuary. Next, I'm going to go over how to get to level 5 and what you do once you're level 5, and then I'm going to cover rare spawns on the map, and finally I'm going to talk about the locations of items, and then talk about where to find updated information if you're watching this video a little bit down the road. Okay, so assuming you have been following the tutorial and you did what I said with constructing the 2 buildings, as well as upgrading your workshop, you should be at level 4. If you aren't at level 4 and about halfway to 3/4 of the way to level 5, make sure you've confirmed both your constructions, like once the buildings are actually finished, you went and looked at the log board and actually did the animation of like you finishing it and everything like that. And make sure you've upgraded your cabin and you've done the quests that you can do. But if you're at about that point, yeah. So what should get you a little further is, like I said, upgrading your shack to rank 2, which unlocks the 2 expansion quests for the pasture and the farmland, which is good. And so all you want to do at that point is add more pets and plant some cabbages up there, and that should pretty much get you to level 5. If you're not quite there, you will be going out and harvesting. Now, it is quite a bit to harvest, so I don't blame you if you take a little more time to get to level 5 and you don't feel like just like harvesting a bunch of materials, but you will need those materials. And something that I recommend is filling up your newly upgraded pasture. I personally got a bunch of lambs because they were easy to catch, and I'll go over the rare items in a moment. And also planting all your crops, and that should be good. You should be fine. If not, wait for some items to sell, and you'll get to level 5 in no time. So once you're actually level 5, this is where we hit the second major time gate. This is where you want to create your I'll keep shovel, which you make from logs, vine, and copper ore. And you'll go ahead and craft that into the better mammoth-sized builder tools. And what that'll do is unlock the third or second upgrade, I guess, technically, to your farm or to your hideaway. And so those two areas, that's sort of where everybody's at right now, is you're going to want to be building the new granaries that you can build there. So build your 2 granaries and then build your hot tub wherever you want to put the hot tub. And once you're building the hot tub and the granaries, that's where, like I said, 99.9% of the community is at right now. And I'll be making more videos to update. So if you can get to that point before I have a new video on my channel, then you're totally good and you can play along with me. This is a new style of series I want to try. So that's where we're trying to get to. And once you get to there, you will be able to, get the landmark, the facility, and you're good. Next, I just want to touch on rare spawns. So while you were exploring, you probably stumbled across the lemur, at least, which is right outside. That's actually the rare version of the Opo. There's also the ornery caracal, which is the black lamb, and there are a few other ones. So there is the I'm just gonna go ahead and post on the screen right now and in the description the ones that we have available. But we are constantly scouting these out and are in Discord. We don't know right now what they provide, if they're just cosmetic or if they actually have some utility. But yeah, those are the rare spawns. They're tied to weather and they're also tied to time of day. So that's something to keep in mind. I posted the chart, it's in the description, and it's also in the Discord. So yeah, that's where this video basically ends. I just want to let you guys know that this is information that's constantly updating. It's information that we're updating in our Discord and in the Reddit thread that I linked in the description that stays updated with everything. So keep those in mind, and I'll be making a new video once we have some more updates to the island sanctuary. If you guys want to see any other videos, I'll be posting one about crafting this weekend. I'm not super fussed on it because, if I'm being completely honest, I'm having a lot of fun with the island sanctuary, and it's a really good piece of content. I will make some more videos about that in the future, but for now, that's it. So, goodbye.